Saturday, March the 12th, 2022. I'm actually going to leave post the link in the chat room, so look for it. And that being said, I'm going to hand things over to Mary Lise.
All right, thank you, Ron. So we have something different for everyone tonight. As Clement suggested, we're expanding our horizons into art and visual arts. So I would like to welcome two award-winning visual artists tonight. They will be showing their work and talking about how nature and plants influence them. Alexandra Gelis is a Colombian Venezuelan filmmaker and visual artist. She presently has a show in Toronto at Artworks TO. And Clement quoted this in his introduction to her, and I just thought it was so lovely from her book, Seeds. In my life of constant movement, I was called by the plants and became interested in the relationship of plants and people. Plants that don't move taught me the most about politics behind migration. And very much looking forward to her insights. And also we have Isaac King, and he's a director and animator with many awards. He has taught character design at Oakhead University and Sheridan College and the Toronto Animated Image Society. So we'll be watching a selection of his short films tonight, and including the Whatever Tree. So Clement wrote this dead tree, or it was in his A Dead Tree Goes Viral, attracting wildlife, a nature lover, and a crowd of online followers. So that is the Whatever Tree. So looking forward to seeing that and hearing from you. I didn't decide, did we decide who was, did we flip a coin on who's going first, or did we want to?
Well, your last email suggested that Isaac go first.
Yeah, so did Isaac, is Isaac?
So Isaac, you're on the hot seat. So what I'm going to do, this is just a technical note, I'm going to mute everybody so that we don't accidentally interrupt the speakers. The speakers then need to unmute themselves, and we'll ask Isaac to begin with that. So here we go. I try to mute you all if I can find the right control.
I want that power.
Mute all. Here we go. Bye-bye. And Isaac, you need to unmute yourself. There you go. Good.
Perfect. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, great. Well, hi, everybody. Thank you so much for inviting me to the Hort. I'm really excited to be here. Clement invited me after graciously hosting me at his backyard, and we talked for a long time about plants and native species and a lot of interesting things. What I want to do before I start talking is actually just show you the film that I want to show, which is called Whatever Tree, and it's about 12 minutes long. And then I'm just going to talk about the film a little bit and the process, and we'll open it up to questions. So I'm going to share my screen and play whatever. Hey!
Hey, hey, hey. Huh? Huh? No.
Okay, so, oh, thank you for the hands. I can't hear the actual applause, but I can see your faces, so thank you. It's actually really fun for me to watch it that way, because I can see your faces reacting to it, which is special for me because I released this film in the middle of the pandemic. So there was no film festivals to send it to or attend to in person. And while it has been making the rounds at film festivals and things, it's nothing really compares to seeing actual people reacting to the work. So it's nice that you all seem pretty interested. No one was falling asleep that I could see. So that was a film that took me about 3 years to make, and it's called Whatever Tree, and it's about humans connecting with nature in the age of social media. That's kind of what I'm calling it. And it really came out of a desire for me to connect with nature personally and actually try an animation technique. I'm an animator, and I've always worked on animation commercially and with my own short films, but I was really craving more outdoor presence in the animation. So I made up this technique where I could be outside for much of the process, and I made these paper characters outside while exploring the sort of the dual stories of this wilderness tree, which, as you saw, is a dead tree in the forest, but provides a lot of life and creates a lot of the ecosystems and connections for living things, while at the same time telling the story of Logan, who is the influencer type that exploits the tree, charges people to come and take a selfie with it, and sells merchandise. What I'm hoping to do now is just share a little bit of the process of making the film, because that's part of the part of the work, I feel like. So I'm just gonna grab it here. The making of Whatever Tree. Can you just nod if you see that screen? Okay, cool. I'm just going to kind of give you a little bit of the where it came from. So what I wanted to do was think of a way to connect people to nature in a way that I was experiencing myself. So I wanted to be outside more, and I wanted to really immerse myself within the idea of nature. I didn't want nature to be something away from me, and I firmly believe that humans are not outside of nature. So I started this Instagram series at the time called Drawn Outside, and I haven't really been updating it, but the idea was creating characters that were just kind of fun little one-offs, and I would position them in interesting places. So I'd be using plants and sometimes riffing on the names, like the bird of paradise or whatever. And sometimes they'd be animation, and sometimes they'd just be photographs. And at the same time, I was researching ecology and social media, which are pretty separate ideas, I feel like. Maybe I can actually zoom this up a little bit. There we go. Is that better? Okay. So yeah, I was really interested in fungal networks and tree communication and native species and invasive species, and also at the same time, people's apathy towards all of this amazing life, and how, like, the emoji of a tree, for example, that just kind of sums up how a lot of people think about nature. It's just this thing you insert when you need to, or maybe you walk through a forest for a moment. But the idea of combining whatever and this really interesting, rich world. So this was my early work when I was sketching things out in my studio here. And I'm not sure how familiar you are with the animation process, but everything needs to be planned out. So storyboards, sketches, For me, that all happens with drawings, and then I kind of tested out this outdoor method. So it's really these flat paper characters and natural outdoor surroundings. And so I had to think of ways of how to do that. So much of the scenery was just in situ. I would go to High Park or whatever park space around me, and I would position things and find locations, but I also had to make sort of a rooftop shooting space for myself here. So I'll show you a bit of that later. This is some of the squirrel research, and the running squirrel was just these pieces of paper with wire to hold them up. This is some of the drawn animation of Logan, and with replacement animation, you have to create multiples of characters in tiny positions that are slightly different. So Louise walking took about 24 different cutouts. And this is the woodpecker, the pileated woodpecker. This is that squirrel. And again, this interplay between a real object and a flat surface was really important for the look of the film. So then I was making the paper, and then here's actually the rooftop spots. So I had to plant grass in these big trays, and then grow grass, and then position trees and shrubs, and then angle the camera so it looked like a big field. So that was quite a challenge. So the filmmaking required woodworking and, you know, a collection of branches, shooting outdoors with my assistant here, Danny, and a lot of kneeling and sore backs. That happened a lot. And then finally, the editing of all the footage. And here is the sound sessions. So Matt and Laura recording some voices and then mixing all the sounds. And that's the end of this part. Hold on, I want to share one last thing if I have time, I hope.
Isaac, you're muted.
Oh, he's not saying anything.
Yes, I think he was. I think because it's full screen, we lose his mic maybe.
No, that shouldn't happen.
Yeah. That's the sound. Sound is back.
Well, I haven't heard anything since he started this second viewing, so.
Isaac, some people can't hear you, so play around with your sound.
Can you try stepping out of the full screen? I really think that's why. Still can't hear you.
Oh, well. Technology is like that.
It's possible that there's a silent track on the film, so he can't bypass that.
Whatever. So maybe what you can do, Isaac, is just leave the film running, but speak to the audience, answer some questions.
Yes. Well, actually, I could hear all that. Can you hear me now, by the way?
Yep.
Okay. I think you were right. I think because there was a silent track on the film, you couldn't hear me speaking on top of it. I'm sorry about that. It wasn't important anyway. It was just me talking about the process, but I hope that was interesting to you, and I'm totally interested in your reaction and how any questions you may have. So here I am.
Well, maybe I can launch into it.
Please.
I think I've got one dead tree, one mostly dead tree, and one tree aspiring to be dead on my property. But those of you who are on the screen, do you have any dead wood in your garden? Raise your hands if so. Yay, substantial fraction. That's great. So now ask Isaac a question.
It was more of an observation. I was struck by, in watching the segment about how you did it at the tininess of the scale, and how painstaking it was to work at that scale. On the ground, higher up is a bit easier, but the track that you showed on the ground, I was thinking, oh yeah, that would be a lot of sore knees and sore back too. It's interesting.
Yes. Thank you for the comment. That's exactly right. I had so many sore knees and sore backs, but I always had knee pads with me, and I had to really take care of that and stretch out before I started a repetitive thing, because it really is repetitive stress. It's like going to the same position. Yeah.
So at some point you must have made a choice that accommodated, or that found a balance between the largest elements and the smallest to decide what was the most convenient one to work at, that would work with everything. That must have been quite a challenge at the beginning, to think through the arc of it and make that decision.
Yes, it really did. And actually, I have the tree right here that I wanted to show you all, because this is the tree. So you can see that it's not that large.
No.
And really what the trick was, how I made it is I kind of attached a few different tree branches on the back there, you can see.
Yeah.
Because I really had to make this special shape. And so once I had this scale figured out, I could decide how tall the characters were going to be. Like, here's actually the two characters at the end. So that was important to know. I'm sorry, I keep losing my camera. How big they would be. And of course, I had to make a few replicas of this because I had to break it apart. So it was an ongoing challenge. But yeah, in animation, you just kind of expect to be redoing things constantly. Like, for example, the squirrel is this big. So here's the squirrel.
Oh.
And so this was really good because I could turn this little cone in his hands, and then I just kind of used this wire and stuck it onto the branch of a fir tree, and then I positioned it. So yeah, everything has to be about this big.
Isaac, this is Barbara. A couple of points. One of that, I'm really fascinated with the process, but also I found that you accomplished the piece of art in that I was totally drawn in. I was, you know, I was right there, and every little movement affected me. And thank you very much for that.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, that's wonderful. Yeah. I mean, I have to give credit to the musicians as well that I worked with, because I think that is part of the film and the way to draw people in as well. Yeah.
Oh, totally. Music really enhances the art form, definitely.
And the lack of dialogue was perfect.
Just suggested dialogue.
It was
I find that
yeah.
You mentioned you worked on this for 3 years. Was it your only project over 3 years, or was it one of many that you were working on at that time, through that time?
It was my main project, and I had some funding from the arts councils. I did have a few little other pieces of freelance work that I was working on, but this was really the main project. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, well, I'm conscious of the time, and I want to get to Alexandra's work. And so if there's more time at the end, we'll have more questions for you. Isaac, thank you very much for showing us that. And I hope this gets into every elementary and junior high.
Yes.
Because it's so wonderfully
pertinent
for that kind of audience. And so very quickly, have you had requests from schools?
Yeah, I have actually. Thank you for that. It's certainly designed for all ages. It skews young, I would say age 6 and up, and kids really react well to it. My own kids like it a lot, and it has been good for teachers to kind of use as a discussion piece, because kids can get into the music and the internet meme stuff, and then they can also think about obviously where they are in nature and how they're dealing with nature. So it's in a few different school programs and youth education programs and kids film festivals. Yeah, and it continues here and there.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
So Alexandra, you have the screen.
Thank you. Well, I want to say first, thank you so much, Isaac. What a great film. I would love to talk to you later about it. I would love to show it.
Yeah,
so, thank you so much. Thanks for this wonderful invitation. I'm so honored to be here, especially because tomorrow I have the opening of my new exhibit, and really to be here showing this work to all of you is really my main prize, I can say. That tomorrow, even though I'm gonna have the major tomorrow, but I would love to have you there. So Clement, thank you so much for this invitation. Okay, so I guess I have 20 minutes, no? So is that right?
Yeah, we're flexible.
Yeah?
Just
okay,
keep going.
I'm gonna have here my clock. Okay, start running. I don't want to take more of your time. So Clement, everything started because Clement saw one of my films. I'm Alexandra Gelis again. I'm Colombian, Venezuelan, Canadian. I'm a media artist. I'm a nomad. It's not just a nomad because I'm traveling everywhere, more because I'm jumping between techniques, technologies, and different kind of knowledge. And I'm really interested in different ways of knowing. You know? So, and plants are my life. So I want to try to show you really fast 2 important projects. It is interesting because in the intro, Mary, you were talking about the importance of native plants. And I'm going to talk about the completely opposite. The non-native, the migrant plant. So something that I name as a migrant plant. So I'm gonna start with a short video. It's called The Island. 4 years ago, I went to Oakland, and a friend of mine said, "Hey, you love plants, you love gardens, and you love politics. So there is a woman that you have to meet. She's Venezuelan, as you. And she was working for so many years with the Black Panthers. So you have to go. I went there and what a surprise. I'm gonna show you what I found. So let's see. It's just 6 minutes. So here is the island. Just an encounter, one day. Can you see it? Can you see my screen right now?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So let's see. So, okay, this is a Super 8 film developed, like hand developed. That's why it's full of scratches and is black and white. Just it has sound at the beginning, later has some sound.
Don't touch that dial. The sound starts soon.
I've been here, well, just cleaned up is 5 years, but I've been here over, I would say 25 years. Yeah, I clean up. This is my garden. Well, being an ex-addict and being clean for 5 years, I'm just so grateful. It's just like every day is like a celebration for me. And I come here to be an influence on the island itself, people that's wherever they at. Where I'm at is a community and keeping it clean. Keeping it clean in life and keeping it clean with the garbage. But it's my peace of mind, my sanctuary. Unfortunately, all my family has passed away. To me now, I know that I'm on the last course of life, spiritual journey. And so it's like I'm really saying all my goodbyes because you never know. You never know in life, right? So all the trees that are planted over here are a memorial of the fallen soldiers and people that had been a part of life itself and being a part of the island and being a part of loved ones that we know. So they put the pictures up there and all the way around. Where you see pictures in the trees, those are memorial of someone that's passed away earlier.
My mom passed away. They got a plant out here for her. The other guy got killed over there. We got a plant for him. And sometimes their family come out here and pray over the plant. Like me, I come out here and pray for my mom because her flowers over here. And
yeah, look like gotta keep strong. Gotta keep strong, man. My name is Broderick Crawford. I'm here. I was born and raised right next to, this is Oakland. I was raised in Berkeley, but they go hand in hand. Right now, presently, we are at the island. And the island got its name because it's a triangle. And years ago, there used to be a nightclub. Then as time went on, Auntie Frances decided to plant a seed. And she came up with, well, why not feed the homeless on Tuesdays? Let's get everybody together. It's time for healing now. So it's kind of like my garden, my therapy. Before Oakland comes through and cut the grass, they stopped doing that because they're protesting against one another. They don't want this to exist. Garbage here. They don't cut the grass no more. He's like, we don't care about you. y'all do it. So we just try to make it like it is. That's why the grass is so like it is, because they start coming through, right? And they made a bench, they made a oven out of concrete, I guess. Basically, just an island of love, really. We try to love each other. We ain't killing each other. But you've been through addicts, you've been through prison, you've been locked up all your life, you've been addicted. What would you change? If you could change something in your life, what would you change? I'm asked that question all the time. And to be honest, I wouldn't change nothing, because it made me who I am today. And without that, I might as well go rest in peace somewhere. I don't have riches and finances and all that, but I'm rich with my God. My passion is photography, video and photography. I want to be a master of that. So I'm 65, so I say, well, I give myself the next 5 years, I'll be 70. Just like I went for drugs, I'm going for my passion now. I'm hungry for my passion.
So the island of love. So I feel a great admiration to Brian. I'm interested in how plants, how our gardens can be our main tool for of resistance. This is an example. He lived in between a territory that is being uncontrolled for so long, between Oakland and Berkeley, this little corner, in how they show the resistance is taking care of their plant and is seeding trees. Every time that somebody dies in the community, they seed a tree. What is more resistant than that, no? What else can show more power than that? So that is a Super A film. You might ask, why it looks so scratched? So in the same way that I'm questioning the resistance of the plants, or of the topic of people, of the communities, I also was asking, how can I show that in the material? So I take a Super A film and I film it and refilm it and refilm it, and then and I develop by hand in a little tank in my house, trying to see how much the material could also resist. So that is the result. So I don't know if you have any question, or if should I jump into my new project? Clement, what do you think?
Why don't you go on with your new project, and then we'll hold the questions for the end.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so let me think. Let me see. Okay, so I have 10 minutes.
Just take a little bit longer if you need to. We're not in a hurry.
Okay, let's see. Share. Can you see my screen again? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so I want to say bienvenidos a casa. Welcome home. It's not my home, just home. Welcome home. Normally, I will show you my plants, my garden. I live in a little apartment in Toronto in front of the airport. So I don't have the luxury of having a great backyard, but I have windows. So that is normally my garden, my window. And most of the plants that you are seeing here, I've been bringing them into the country for different reasons, or some of my friends. So my question, and then I start, like, for example, this little one is my main tree. This is a coca tree. So coca is a sacred plant for us in South America, and that really helped me to travel all over Peru and go up in the mountains. This is a taro plant that a friend of mine gave me, and I have them in my house in Costa Rica too, everywhere. So here is a ricino plant from the castor oil. This is one of my most like important babies or companies, is the insulin plant. So this is the plant that my grandma takes when her blood sugar is too high, when her diabetes is affecting the highly. So she mixes insulin plant with this one that is here with oregano. Here is known as Cuban oregano. So over the years, I've been transforming my land, my environment with plants that are closer to myself, that cure me. For example, that one, where is the root really helped me, like saved my life when I was teaching in Ethiopia. And my Ethiopian mom gave me a little one and said, you have to bring it with you. So it's been with me for the last 6 years and so on. So in this migrant plants, so plants migrate with the help of birds and natural effects like water, wind, so on, but also as immigrant, we travel with plants to transform our context, to make it more familiar. So I'm going to invite you now. I've been moving most of these plants now into a gallery setting. It's been so difficult. Why? So plants are not welcome into the gallery spaces because they are alive, they have moss, they have mold, so many things. But I was invited to show in a mall. And I said, okay, it's been a long time of negotiation. You have no idea what it means to be gardening in a gallery space. Wow. So this is with Living Migrant Relations, Toronto. I prefer to say Tacoronto. I really like the Tacoronto as the place in the water where the trees are, because that really is what Toronto has been showing me and teaching me, and in all the work that I've been doing with Natives community. By the way, here is my website, is alexandragelis.com. You can see some of my work there. My website is not the best one, I'm trying, but also I'm really invite you to visit earth2tables.org. This says I'm co-director that work and that project, and is food sovereignty. And it's been a years of work with different communities in Canada and South America. So I'm gonna show you, how can I play? If I play here, I'm losing you. Yes. Oh. Wow. Uh-oh. So I cannot share that.
Yeah, I find it's better with Keynote to just keep it as individual, not full screen, and then just advance the slides yourself.
Oh, okay. But how can I share then a video?
Just skip on to something else.
Okay, here it is. So here I am moving the plants from my home into this gallery space.
We
can't see that right now.
Oh, you can see it? But okay, let's see here.
Maybe.
No? No?
Yeah, might have to pin it. You might have to pin it. I don't know.
Oh. Oh, okay, because this is stop sharing it. Let's see now. Oh.
Yeah. Like,
okay.
Now it works.
Okay, thanks. So here is the moving of the plants into the gallery. I'm transforming the environment of the gallery with all these plants. Everyone working, and here is the final work. So this is where you are gonna see it. I really want you to come tomorrow. The opening is between 3 and 6. It's a Cloverdale Mall. So this is my work, the one that is here, and then you can visit 3 more works. So what is happening is it has 6 group of plants that it gathers through the voice of plants, to this presence of plants, through the stories of the plants and how these plants were moved in different sounds. I'm trying to say, or to ask myself, how can we talk about the history of migration into Toronto through plants, but no human voices? So the first part is 6 groups of plants. When you pass your hands between the plant and the light, the sound changes. So it is an interactive work. You are invited to touch, you are welcome to smell, you are welcome to interact with the work, no, in a traditional way of a museum. The first part that welcome you is the one that I call the ritual component. So it has tobacco from South America, from Colombia. A friend of mine brought it from Colombia. This is San Pedro from Peru, peyote from Mexico, and coca from my tree at home. And always here is the 3 sisters, like mixing all my learnings here with corn from the Americas. So this is a corn that we brought from Mexico. It's a blue corn, and now was seated here in 6 nations. So then in front of all the 6 group of plants, you will see a water pump. Why? By pumping the water pump, by moving the water pump, you control a series of videos that are here, are around 6,000 images that I created by on 60mm film, using the plant or the leaf that are in the installation. If I have time, I'm gonna show you later, because it can sound abstract what I'm saying. So here is another view of the installation. So each plant, it has their own story. Also, I was wondering, how can I have plants, living plants that are happy in a gallery space? So I start creating this kind of kokedamas that you might be familiar with it. I spent month and month and month how to create a healthy one, that it have also 2 different kind of ecosystems, because it has moss, then inside different kind of soil and rocks, and also plus the main plant. And I've been mixing it with hair. Okay, 20 minutes.
Just keep going.
I don't want to take more of your time.
Just keep going.
Yeah, so yesterday I have the wonderful visit of Clement there with Lena. So when we arrived, they were watering the plants. So the moment of the plant is a really important of the installation. So as important for us as a plant lovers is, I really want to make that transparent to the audience. When you go into a mall, you never imagine that the plants need water. No, so here is all the opposite part. And I have the wonderful visit of Dr. Clement, as Lena said yesterday. So Clement, well, thank you so much. This is really alive. So we have little spiders with little animals here. Clement found different ones. Thank you so much for a great mix. Here also was teaching us how to take care of the plants. I had them kind of controlled at home, but later it moved into a different system. So definitely the plants are autonomous, you know, like we can kind of support them, help them, but they are autonomous. So a lot of different complex relations start happening there. So I had the pleasure of talking to different people in the installation. Here is Lena. So I want to show you what is happening in this part. Let me see if I have a still. Oh, I don't have the still here. Okay. So this is the result. So I'm taking a film, 16mm film, and I lay down, you know what? Let me just show you, it's easier. If I found, oh, yes, here it is. So I take 16mm film and I lay the plant on top. And by using vitamin C and different kind of soil, I change the pH of the plant, creating all the different colors and abstract figures that you see by pumping the water pump, the old water pump. So all of those are here. So are like 6,000 different kind of painting. Some of them, you can see the vines of the plant. Yes, so that is basically, here is all the group behind that is helping to, those are the photos that Clement took yesterday. And surprise, surprise, we have even a worm in the place. Okay, I'm using human hair. Here it is. I'm very interested in the human-plant relationships. In hair, it's been an important component in all this work, and also I found that with the time, the hair will help the plant. So it helps by giving them protein, but also magnesium. So I'm experimenting with the use of hair by crocheting the hair and mixing it. So here it is. I'm creating instructions with different kind of hair. Also, as part of the work, I have a book. Here is the book. The book, it has the title of the installation, and I'm inviting the audience to leave their stories. For example, here in the book, you can find different drawings. For example, the insulin plant that I just mentioned to you. Oh my God, out of focus. No, it doesn't focus. Here it is, yeah. So some of my drawings, so the book have the drawings, and then the next page are the stories. So how that plant arrived to the country, and I'm telling the story of my grandma making the tea. So I'm inviting the audience to sit on that chair and share their stories. Here is the chair. Here is the plant that I just showed you. Yes, here more hair. Also, I'm creating some of the kokedamas just with human hair. Because I have a cactus, and the cactus, it doesn't like the moss, the humidity. So I'm creating a different ones with hair. Also, in the same way that I'm working with plants in the chemical reaction, molecular reaction almost, I'm also making paper with the different plants. Here is paper. I also embroidering the paper with hair, making with designs of with the images of the different plants that I'm making the paper. Yes. So this work is full of layers and layers and layers. And the last one that I want to mention that I forgot to tell is like why I'm using this amount of hair. So in the history of migration, the movement of enslaved from Africa into the Americas was a really painful one. So in Colombia, one of the strategies of resistance of the woman, of the enslaved women, or under the condition of enslaved, they map out in their hair the route of escaping from the plantations into the free towns. So I'm recalling that moment of resistance by creating, by grading new routes of freedom with the strength of the hair and all those stories, plus all the stories that we are telling through the speakers. The work has around 34 speakers. It has a lot of technology, 2 computers, different kind of complex system inside, and so on.
Wow.
Yes. Oh, I can see you there.
Amazing. Where in the mall, Cloverdale Mall, is this exhibit housed?
It is just right beside the Office of Ontario Services.
Okay.
So I guess it's the last entrance. I'm not sure if it's the main entrance, but it's the one that is in the north, I guess. Yeah, beside the office.
Alexandra, you didn't mention, but, or maybe I didn't hear it, but there is this idea that, I don't know if there's actually evidence that African slaves brought seeds in their hair, actually, when they came across. So that was another interesting way of that plants have migrated.
Exactly. Thank you so much for that. Yes. So one of the designs that I'm using is a little pocket that the women used to make to put the seeds and to be able to bring it in the new territories. So this is part of my PhD. Actually, I was raised in in Cartagena, which is 40 minutes from San Basilio de Palenque. So San Basilio de Palenque is kind of my second family. San Basilio, it is named or known as the first free town in South America, founded by runaway slaves. I'm sorry. So yes. Thank for that little point. Yes.
I love the whole thing about hair though, because I cut my own hair and I hate throwing stuff away. That probably makes me sound really friggin' bizarre and weird, which I kind of am, but so, and I've always well, like I've put it out in the backyard in places thinking that maybe it'll like keep animals I don't want away. I don't really know. But I'd never really done any research into what nutrients. I know hair takes a really long time to break down. So, but I wasn't even aware that it carries all those nutrients. So you've kind of given life to my clippings. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but they're very short though. I couldn't possibly do what you've done with yours, or at least, what did you call those round? I've heard of them before, but what did you call those round balls of moss with earth on the inside?
Well, I start with the idea of the kokedamas.
What is that?
Kokedama. K-O-K-E-D-A-M-A.
Okay, yes.
Are called. Yeah, so I just start with that idea. And from that, it was changing because the kokedamas are like perfectly round and I don't want that. I'm looking for the completely opposite, actually. So if you can give me your hair, I will really appreciate. I've been like weaving even the shortest one. Yes, I've been working for
Careful
years
what
now.
you wish for.
Please.
I'm due for another haircut soon.
Alexandra, I wanted to say how eloquent. I didn't catch his name. I mean, he just about broke my heart. The story he told you. Did you have any idea that he he could speak from the heart, like he was like a poet. Like the sanctuary. I mean, I wish I could speak that way, like to speak of my garden as a sanctuary, and his garden is his therapy. I mean, that was so beautiful. I mean, to have discovered that after such a hard life, and he wouldn't have changed anything, because then he wouldn't be who he was. It's like, you know. I mean, I don't know how you got through that, you know. It's like, oh, here, let me help you somehow. That was way too moving.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Mary.
And what was he like? Was he like that? Was he that?
Oh, completely like that. So from the first second that we met, I don't have that much footage, actually. I barely turn on my camera because I'm respectful of community or places where I'm invited or I have the honor of going. So I feel is more difficult to turn on the camera that is just having it around. So I arrived there, and right away he says, so you have the camera, so I have to show you something, come with me. So, and we went around.
Yes.
Yeah, just like that. Yes.
Well, and all the trees being somebody they know. Well,
and the little photos, they have little photos.
Yes.
With little, and the dates, and yes.
Yes.
It's resistant from inside.
Well, thank you. Thank God you were there to hold on to that.
Yeah. I
Thank you
for that invitation.
Alexandra, I wanted to ask, who did the hair come from?
In this installation? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Well, then I might start crying. So here is my little secret. Nobody know that many people knows, but I've been traveling for many places looking for plants that have been used as a political tool. We can talk about that later, because in the same way that I've been working with San Basilio de Palenque, how plants can be used for the one that is under the power of an empire. Also, I've been working with plants that have been used by the one as the empire. No, so in this case is the Panama Canal with an invasive plant that is called Paja Canalera. So I was traveling all over the places, and then COVID happened. My mom got cancer, and I spent more than 5 years with her in a cancer hospital, going in and out. And then we discovered that her main tool of resistance was her hair. So for many people, losing their hair is painful. It's like, we are losing my mind, we are losing all the strength. For her was, no, like the hair, the cutting the hair and doing different things with her hair was part of her way of coming back. No? So she cut her hair, and then she said, what if I do a wig with my hair? So we learned together how to create wigs after you cut your hair in the cancer process. So we initiate a series of workshops in the cancer hospital, how to make wigs with your hair. So it opens the opportunity also to get together and talk about how can you put back your life after the cancer treatment. So we start getting a lot of hair donated. First doing the wigs, and then I start getting little pieces, as you said. I said, what can I do with little pieces that are so important and full of love? So I start spinning the hair and crocheting hair, and most of the hair that is there was donated for people that really love my mom. My mom passed. See, I'm gonna start crying now in October. And then I spend all winter here at home with the plants, and plants really well, the one that show me and showed me, or they gave me the place for grief and be with my mom. So this
Yes.
work, I'm honoring her. And all the sound is also as a way of creating a tunnel of sound. So she goes from the world of the living to the world of the dead with music. She loved music and she loved resistance.
Thank you for sharing
now you know
that.
the story if you go there.
Thank you for sharing that.
Well, sorry. Oh, Clement.
Kiss, kiss.
I would have to say that having spent a couple hours at the exhibit yesterday, it's multi-layered. You know, we were there when the lady who was watering the plant said, "Look, there's a worm," because there's actually earth in there, as well as strands of hair connecting the different pots, and the textures of the strands of hair, which Alexandra has crocheted and braided, are really fascinating. And then when you're looking at those and you're focused on the hair or the worms or the plants, then there's a speaker and there's all this tech behind it to make the sounds come out of the speaker, or you move the pump handle and the images change. So a lot of different ways of relating to people and plants.
Thank you, Alexandra. It was wonderful seeing your work yesterday, and it's wonderful to see you speaking of it all today. Thank you. Thank you.
So now maybe I can open it up questions for either Isaac or Alex, or Isaac and Alex can ask each other questions about it. You're both very creative, so, you know, and you both love plants and the environment. So what do you have to say about that?
I just have to say thank you for sharing all that, Alexandra. That was amazing. And I love the first film that you showed, and also how your second piece is totally different. But I can see the connections in that you're really connecting people and plants in a beautiful way. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it tomorrow. I would really love to see the show. But I also wanted to say that I think our work also comes together in another way, because I'm making, for my Master of Fine Arts thesis work in my defense, which is in just over a month, in early April, I'm making an installation, an animated installation. So it's not as technologically involved as yours with the speakers. It has speakers and projectors and it actually has some invasive species. I'm dealing with Phragmites, and I'm really interested in how that has come to North America and what it's doing here, of course, and also just the ambiguities around what these invasive species are to people. Anyway, that's going to be in April. I would love you to come to that too. So, and anyone here is also welcome to come. It's going to be at OCAD in early April. So it'll be on my website if anyone's interested. Anyway.
Wow, thank you so much. Of course, I'm going to go. You have no idea what you're saying to me. You know, that is going to be my project. So I'm so in love with Phragmites right now.
Okay.
And yes, so I have, we will talk. Yeah, I'm starting a large project on Phragmites too, in film, developing film and films on Phragmites, actually.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Thanks.
So I'm
cross-pollination. That's what we do here. We cross-pollinate.
It's great. And, you know, the motto of the Horticultural Societies of Parkdale and Toronto for 134 years or whatever it's been, I can't even keep track, has been Beautify Toronto. And in the last bulletin, I tried to talk about how beauty has healing properties. And that takes us straight from the world of plants and horticulture to the world of art and the spirit. And so, you know, Mary-Lise, not going astray. We're sticking to the theme. And so thanks to both of you for sharing your work. And Isaac has put isaacking.net into the chat. Alexandra, I mean, I put both of your links into the bulletin, but Alexandra, you want to type in the appropriate links? I know they were on the screen, but not everybody has a chance to write them down there. And both of them have a lot more work to look at. I tried to give you an idea of looking at Isaac's animated bean pod. It's short, but it made me laugh so much when I looked at it. And Alexandra has done quite a few other things. So visit their websites, see them, and then maybe they'll come to, you know, one of our gardens when the weather's nice.
Yes, would love to.
Thank you, both of you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you so much. That's wonderful, Shiv. Thank you. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. How can I be part of the group, by the way?
We have regular meetings, and in the pre-COVID years, a lot of the stuff that happened between May and September was outside, and then we had to stop doing it. But you can go to our website, you know, and you can join. It costs $20 for a year, as Ron was telling us, and you get to be exposed to some interesting things. We hope.
I will. Thank
Absolutely.
you so much.
Yeah, Ron just said that in the chat, I think. Yeah. Ron just put the YouTube playlist in there that you guys will be on when he and I figure out moving the giant video file from my computer to his computer to YouTube. And we'll look forward to anybody else who wants questions answered, send them in to us, and we'll try and forward them on to the artists.
Yes, and we'll upload this video eventually onto the playlist that we have on the YouTube channel. So keep tuned for that.
Clement, if you want, I'm putting something in the chat. Do you know about WeTransfer? That
Yeah.
will accept. Yeah. Okay, that's
We
I
know
use that a lot.
very well because Lena's been working with Alexandra on other work, and WeTransfer was a frequent visitor to our websites. Yes.
All right, good. I'm also a filmmaker, so I use it a lot.
Oh, okay.
Well, do you want to have a better one? Here is a better one. Hostb.org. That is the one that you need if you are host B, sorry.
Yeah.
If you want something larger, use hostb.org. Yeah, you can send hundreds of
letter
gigs
B,
if you want.
host, the letter B.
Yeah,
Hostb.
hostb.org. Yes.
Great, thank you. I
Like
didn't know about
100 gigs if you want.
Then you'll find out how fast your internet connection is. Yeah, so, you know, I just wish we had, you know, Canada Council level of funds, because I think it would be so much interesting to the artists and the gardeners and the migrants that Toronto is made of together on some kind of project. But unfortunately, we have a little less money than the Canada Council, a lot less, but, you know, Heather, is that you just gracing us with your coughs? Yeah, probably it is. So maybe we'll find a way in the future. These are ways to branch out into the community. And if Isaac and Alexandra know artists who love gardens, tell them to talk to us. Maybe we can feature them in the future. And if Polly and Sky and others, you know, want to, you know, further this dialogue in other ways. We're just trying to, I lecture a lot to other horticultural societies, and not my talks, but a lot of their talks are kind of like, here's what our roses looked like in the rose garden. There's no social or cultural aspect, and there's so much interesting stuff that ties into that. And as you could hear, these were two people who managed to bring human emotion and human social conditions into their art and
And the
related
plant world, yeah.
and related to the plant world. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
we can try and facilitate that as much as we can.
Yeah. Very, very interesting.
All right, I'm going to stop the recording.
Okay.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Hi,
Good
thanks,
night.
Isaac. That was
Bye.
wonderful.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Thanks, Isaac.
Bye.
Okay, thank you,
Bye.
everybody. Bye.
Bye. Thanks. Bye.